Hey everyone, the Game Piece here, and I hope you're having a great and happy new year, and I hope you kicked it off right and celebrated nice and safe and had a great fun time. Today I'd like to give you a video talking about my feelings about the crafting system in Elder Scrolls Online as a new player. Recently I leveled up to champion point 160, and I have been continuing my journey in Elder Scrolls Online, but today I thought I'd like to give you a little bit of my thoughts on how I thought the crafting was introduced to me and how I think the systems are in Elder Scrolls Online as a whole. So let's get right into it. So first off, I'd really like to say that I do like the ease of getting into the crafting system in Elder Scrolls Online. You really don't have to do anything beyond going up to the crafting station, and that's basically it. There's certain certification quests that you can do to get skilled and do certain writs for certain crafting professions like blacksmithing and woodworking and whatever, to get you more materials and experience and just to benefit you as a whole. So those go hand in hand with the crafting, and also just the researching of traits and deconstructing of gear provides a way for you to funnel gear that you've picked up throughout your leveling process and use it in a way that, like, for another system in the game, rather than just throwing it away for gold or basically just vendoring it into trash and forgetting about it. This way it actually gives you an use for your gear while leveling, rather than, just forgetting about it, like I said. But that does lead me into a point that I want to make about the researching of traits. So for those of you who don't know, researching traits allows you to pick a certain trait that a piece of gear has and research it for that specific piece of gear, allowing you to craft an item with that trait on it in the future. However, there is a thing in place called time gating, essentially, where after you research a specific trait, the next trait that you research is going to take exponentially longer as time goes on. So for instance, your first trait, this is just an example, this isn't specific numbers or anything. Say your first trait takes an hour to finalize and be researched. The next one might take 2 hours, and then so on and so forth, and then eventually it can end up taking, I believe it can end up taking like a month, or at the least, I think it's like a couple weeks, if not more, in order to finish researching traits. If you want literally every trait researched in the game, you can do it, but it's going to take a very long time. That's the thing too, is it's kind of a positive, because as you get to the end, you don't really have to worry about it as much. As you start researching, it's going to take so long that you just kind of do it every few weeks, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But the thing is, it's so artificially locked behind a time gate that if you want to be a master crafter, you basically have to play the game for years in order to get to that point, which I don't feel is right. I feel like there should be another system in place in order to unlock the research traits. Maybe just grinding enough gear pieces or like crafting enough gear pieces in order to research a trait, or maybe break down enough pieces, like deconstruct enough pieces that have that specific trait that builds up, so then you learn that trait or something like that. I just think that system would be better than basically time gating you from being able to research or craft any items that you might want. Say that you are new to the game like I am, and you don't know specifically what traits you want to research from the beginning, so you end up missing out on certain traits that you would have gotten before, and then you end up having to wait a couple weeks in order to get that specific trait you want to craft. So it's just a really kind of weird system that they have in place. I get that it's an MMO and they need people to have things gated by time and whatever, but I feel like there could be a better system, even with the time gate minimalized, that would be better off as a whole for the players. But like I said, the deconstructing is very nice for the gear that you get from any sort of dungeon, and that funnels right back into crafting. You use those mats to craft different gear, and it all kind of runs well and smoothly together. The writs are very nice for giving you different materials. They have certain passive abilities in the skill trees for crafting that give you materials daily. As long as you log in and check your mailbox, they'll give you different materials every single day just for free, and that's also really nice. So all of the systems that they have in play kind of bounce off one of each other, and that's really nice. And just another thing I want to point out too is the fact that you can turn a lot of this crafted stuff into a different style of gear. So they have these things called crafting motifs, and they're basically different styles of armor that are cosmetic only, that you can craft the stats onto. So it'll be named something different, whatever, it'll have different stats, but you can change the appearance of the armor to look like a different type, which is really cool. There's a lot of these in the game. But one thing that's kind of strange is I feel like you can't get some of these anymore. From what I've heard, I've seen players complain about the fact that some of these motifs were event items in the past, and they haven't put them up on like the Crown Store or anything like that. So essentially, if you don't have these crafting motifs, you're out of luck, and that's just another thing that's holding back perhaps people that would really want to get deep into the crafting system in the game. So I feel like with a few tweaks, and maybe also just being the dev team being aware of the certain items that they have maybe locked behind events in the past and could get rid of out in the future for future events, or even like the Crown Store, like I said, that would be a good thing for them to be aware of, and also to help increase people wanting to get into crafting. If like they brought back old motifs that they can't get anymore, I'm sure that people would maybe be revitalized to get back into crafting, and just things like that. They're just small changes that they could do to make it a little bit better and more intuitive. But overall, I really do like it, and I really do like the diversity that they allow you to craft the armor in, like the armor types, the certain traits onto different armor. The only thing that I think is the real drawback is the time gatiness of it, and how long it really takes to research all the traits and everything. But I do like the ease of access and how easy it is to get into crafting in this game, and how everything really runs together as a big cohesive system. So let me know what you guys think of crafting in this game, if you think any of these changes I mentioned should be in place, or if you have any ideas of your own that could make crafting better as a whole in ESO. I know that I'm going to try to keep on chipping away at it, but you know, you can only do so much with a time gate. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you liked the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out for more content later on in the future. Thanks, everyone.